So fun fact, I have the flag that flew on top of that building on the day I was born. I have it. I have that actual flag. Flew over the United States Capitol on the date of my birth, and it's a great honor to have that flag. So you can see the flag right there on the right of the, let me zoom in. All right, can you see it over there? The flag right over, boop, 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 right over on the right. That flag that flew in 1983 when I was born, I have that at my house. So great honor to have. And then I think that I showed you, I've also received a couple of thank you letters from American generals, 2- and 3-star generals, and a challenge coin from another 3-star general. So in the last few months, I've been able to make some good gains, and I can't wait to talk to you all about that. Good, so hey, that's fair. There's a comment in the chat, and moderators, let's not block him, right? I'd like you all to have a conversation. So it looks like this person said, let me turn it around, I'll join you guys here. And I'm not sure who this person is, I haven't seen them in the chat before, but it looks like they say, what freedoms have you all lost? Fake and lame, wannabe victims, right? So this citizen is saying, hey, we haven't lost any freedoms at all in the United States. And ironically, his screen name starts with the word comrade. So kind of interesting that that person might say that. That person says, hey, we haven't lost any freedoms at all, right? Put in the chat whatever you think about that. And let's not limit anybody's free speech, you know, related to their perspectives. On this channel, I want to be able to collect perspectives from both sides of the aisle. And indeed, if we don't branch out from whatever we think is safe and normal, you know, whatever perspectives we cling to, if we don't branch out a little bit, we'll never take in new data and we'll never be able to make more informed decisions, right? Argue against it. Okay, so can I get the Capitol in the background while we're talking about this? Good. I think so. Boop. Maybe a little higher. All right. Sorry guys, I'm looking right into the sun, so I apologize. Probably should have had a hat on. It's pretty warm here in DC, and it's definitely very humid. But the good news is there's a lot more oxygen. So I'm sucking O2 pretty well right here. Okay, so here's your opportunity to respond and say what freedoms you may be lost. I know that some citizens earlier today who we were talking to mentioned the First Amendment. And one thing that I might call your attention to were the Twitter files reporting. Right, the Twitter files reporting. And that's related to a gentleman named Elon Musk. And Elon Musk is the chief executive officer at Twitter and at Tesla and at SpaceX. And his work with SpaceX has required him to go through a high level of vetting by the United States government to ensure that he's a good guy and not a bad guy. And what I mean by that is the United States of America won't trust anyone to deliver billions of dollars of their cargo to outer space unless they can in some way trust that individual, right? So it has to be somewhat credible. Furthermore, you can look at what Tesla stocks have done, and I know, but look what Tesla stocks have done, and look at the adoption of the electric car market by the government of the United States of America, indeed building charging stations out across the country and encouraging citizens to purchase electric vehicles. Elon Musk was on the forefront of that. My point is that when Elon Musk purchased the company Twitter, he came to be aware that Biden administration officials had come to his employees and had also worked with academics from Stanford and from University of Washington, and that they had asked the tech company Twitter to limit the free speech of certain channels while encouraging the rate at which other channels were spread for simply political views. And this is something that frustrated Elon Musk, and he began to speak out about it. And he gave a series of interviews, which are now called the Twitter Files. So one question that I have is it freedom of speech or is it Twitter Files? And which one is real? Indeed, 3 attorneys general have now sued the Biden administration, and they've won an injunction from federal judge Terry Doughty, T-E-R-R-Y-D-O-U-G-H-T-Y. Federal judge Terry Doughty has issued an injunction prohibiting the Biden administration from colluding, switchboarding, collaborating, or communicating with the tech companies or with the Stanford Internet Observatory and the University of Washington internet observers as well. So Biden administration was working with academics from Stanford and University of Washington to identify channels to limit. Then they were going to the tech companies and saying you have to limit the rate at which these channels are shared. And when Elon Musk became aware of that, he blew it out and he told everybody about it, right? And he did a series of interviews, and indeed we've probably seen that happen to some other channels on YouTube that perhaps you've watched in the past. So right now, a federal judge has stated that it's true, that it's happened, and a federal judge whose name is Terry Doughty, Judge Terry Doughty, has issued an injunction against the Biden administration saying that they can no longer go to tech companies and blackmail them with antitrust litigation. So that's what some citizens have talked about, and that is, you can go on the House Oversight Committee's website and you can read about this, and you can also just Google Judge Terry Doughty, D-O-U-G-H-T-Y. Maybe one of the moderators could put a link, but if you Google Judge Terry Doughty, 3 attorneys general have brought lawsuits against the Biden administration for limiting the free speech of certain conservatives on social media channels which are based in the United States. Furthermore, when the French government decided to raise the retirement age and the French people went into rebellion and protest, indeed they burned down their own stock exchange in France. They lit fires in the stock exchange in France. And they did that because the retirement age was raised again. And indeed, we've seen protests all across Europe and the Netherlands and in Germany. In the Netherlands, they sprayed manure all over their Capitol building, right? Germans ran the border with tractors, right, to go and support some of these efforts. Snow cone time, have to hydrate, everybody. I'm spoon feeding it to y'all, come on. I'm spoon feeding you. So that's the question today. Are we still free in the United States? Is it freedom of speech in the First Amendment, or is it the Twitter files? Which one is true, right? And indeed, federal judge Terry Doughty has issued an injunction against the Biden administration saying that they can no longer go to tech companies to shadow ban conservative voices. So, something worth talking about. A bunch of people walking by, and everybody started doing this. So even if we wake them up 2 at a time, we're waking them up, right? 2 by 2. I think somebody else sent them 2 by 2, right? So let me check in with the chat. I know I just went on a little bit. Oh, okay. Well, I'd love to see something substantive, right? So if you can, always cite your sources and always tell me who the people are who are involved with the discussion, right? Otherwise, it's just this. What about the Second Amendment? Are you still able to carry a gun anywhere that you want? Indeed, in the District of Columbia, you're not allowed to have a weapon, and I certainly don't, right? I certainly do not have a weapon here in the District of Columbia, and you're not allowed to, right? New York City is another district where you're not allowed to have a gun without a special permit, right? Special series of permits. Certain people are certainly able to be armed, otherwise we wouldn't be able to protect our elected officials, right? Secret Service, of course, needs to be armed. Something we could talk about, though, did any of you see what's happened in the news recently? A substance was found in the White House, I think. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Was a certain powdery substance found in the White House in the last couple of weeks? You guys tell me. Did you watch the news? Let me see it. Which judge was I quoting? X-ray. Judge Terry Doughty, T-E-R-R-Y space D-O-U-G-H-T-Y. And I might be mispronouncing the gentleman's name, and it's certainly not my intention, right? But that's the way it's spelled. And so y'all can look it up. And I'm just gonna push forward with you motivators into the shade. And I'll still try to give you a beautiful view. I mean, I have the Washington Monument right behind me. I have the United States Capitol right in front of me. And indeed, it's one of the most beautiful sights in the United States of America, you know, until you go and see the Rocky Mountains and the Grand Canyon, right? All right, good. Now I'm in the shade. But I don't know if I'll be able to get my Capitol. I'll be able to get the monument over here in a second. Hang with me, y'all. I'll use my producing skills to hook you up. Okay, were you able to find what I was talking about with Judge Terry Doughty, a federal judge? And 3 state attorneys general brought the lawsuit. So it was brought by officials, state officials, right? Attorneys general, 3 of them. Okay, so I see a comment here from ACB talking about drug addiction with some of our officials and the families of some of our officials. So according to Hunter Biden's own book, he's been a crack cocaine addict. And we want to try to support anyone who's going through or has gone through a period of addiction, because surely people don't go and do drugs because everything's going well in their lives, right? It's an escape, an attempt to escape for some reason, for something, right? Or you're just trying to party. But when you party all day, every day, and it becomes addiction, that's an escape, right? One's escaping their reality. And certainly the son of the most powerful man in politics for the last 5 decades could be doing okay under some circumstances. Hi. How are you?
Welcome to DC.
Thanks.
Welcome back. You remember who I am?
No.
You don't know me?
No.
You blamed your whole truck getting towed and shit on me. I'm Anarchy Princess.
Hey, how are you? I don't know who that is. That's a nice name. What do you think about freedom in the United States of America?
What do you think about when you had Rel and Josh come to Berkeley with a gun? Remember that little conversation?
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh my God, John, yes you do.
I don't know who this woman is, and I don't know what she's talking about.
Hey.
What do you think about freedom in the United States?
I don't think you're supposed to have freedom. I think you probably have some pending charges or something. Are you permitted to be here? Did that get resolved in DC?
So I'm never been convicted of a crime, and I'm certainly not wanted or barred from being anywhere in the United States.
Remember
I'm glad that you were able to come over here.
You went to that 9/11 memorial, and you were talking about you didn't think you were allowed in DC. What happened with that?
I'm sorry. Who are you, and why are you so close to me?
No one believes it, but keep trying.
I don't know who you are. I'm sure. I hope you have a wonderful
It
day.
doesn't work with me.
Maybe you could help tell the citizens. What do you think we can do to come together, to be friends, and to make our country better? Absolutely not.
Charges?
No warrants at all.
Do you have any court appearances?
No, not at all.
So what happened with the thing? With your
Everything
truck
is.
and everything?
Well, I've never been convicted of a crime ever in my life.
Why were you worried about coming to DC then?
I'm not worried at all. I'm right here in our nation's
6 to 8
capital.
months ago, when you went to the 9/11 memorial?
Well,
a
lot of Americans were killed, and then I went and joined the Marine Corps after 9/11. So it's really important for me to be able to respect our country.
When you went to the 9/11 memorial.
So I don't know who this lady is,
You said
and I'm going to create some distance. But if this person continues to follow me, I'll have great evidence.
Go ahead, evidence. It's DC, honey. You've been gone a while. I've learned the laws better than you.
So Antifa has.
He's a terrorist. Be careful.
That's slander. What did you say to me?
Sue me.
What's your name?
Anarchy Princess.
What's your real name?
Anarchy. What's your real name?
John Dobbins.
Is that your real name?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My name's John Dobbins. Hey, everybody.
Yeah.
You know, and what do you do for a living? I teach at universities and colleges.
Okay.
Do you teach anywhere?
This is like some mental health.
What do you
right
do
here.
for a job?
I'm Anarchy Princess. This is my job.
So you're paid
You're really
to
gonna
create
play like
anarchy?
You don't know who I am.
Hold on, let me turn this over here.
Hey guys.
So are you paid?
Yes, I'm paid by George Soros.
Oh.
So,
and what does he pay you to do?
Like, I don't know who this guy is. Everyone keeps saying he's my boss, and like I haven't got my check yet. I've never seen him.
You just said you were paid by George Soros.
Yeah, I'm supposed to be, but like I don't get my checks.
Oh.
Like I thought as a commie, like I automatically work for George Soros.
Are you saying you're a communist?
Checks. Yeah.
Why are you a communist? You should embrace capitalism.
Right? Yes, that's what I am. Fuck capitalism.
Why?
Yeah. Anyway, you got any warrants?
Don't you believe? No. Don't you believe in free market economy?
Sit right here, John.
So a random woman has come and found me on the streets of DC, and she's begun to yell at me.
My lawn.
So we're just gonna go over here and try to leave Antifa on the side, and we'll see if Antifa follows this veteran
This guy's a domestic
and teach her.
now.
Okay.
Sue me.
What's your name? Or are you too ashamed of your family legacy to say your name?
You see that? Trump might be here tomorrow. Is that why you're here?
No.
Are you going to the corner? You're going to Freedom Corner?
I don't know what you're talking about. What is that?
You don't know where Santa and all your friends have been going for the...
I don't know who you are, and I don't know why you're here talking to me, lady, you know? But what's your name?
He's a domestic terrorist.
I teach
He
at
had
Yale.
guns last time he was in DC. He got arrested.
You know, I don't know who this
He's
lady is.
dangerous. He's I'm waiting for the cops to
So
come over
this is
here.
what the liberal left will do.
This is what the left
if you
does.
come out and talk to
This is
people.
what the left does. This is what the left does.
And I'm just going to go down here and try to stay away from you.
Okay,
And I
let's
hope
go
you
down
don't
here.
follow me, you know?
Oh, well,
Because
freedom.
if you keep following me,
Remember
I
when
might
you were
feel
here?
threatened, you
Okay,
know?
do something.
Well, I want to
Okay.
create distance. I'm
Okay,
walking
then keep
away.
walking. I'm walking behind you. Remember this? This is zone 13, panel 13. You weren't supposed to be here. You were supposed to be on zone 12, and you guys occupied.
I have no idea what you're
You weren't part
talking
of the
about.
1776 restoration movement that was here on the mall.
I don't know what you're talking
Oh, okay.
about.
Now
I was
it's
certainly
different.
here with lots of patriots and veterans from all over the country. Please leave me alone.
Santa the Proud Boy.
Please leave me alone. So, as you can see, not on any.
Did the camera go down?
So,
that's no fun.
I keep trying to walk away from this lady. And what did you say your name was, miss?
Anarchy Princess.
What's your real name?
Anarchist.
Okay, so you're Anarchy Princess. And why did you come and why are you following me
This
today?
is freedom. I'm not following you. I'm allowed
Well,
to
we
walk.
were way over there and I've walked
I'll
away.
walk this way. The metro's this way.
I'm gonna go this
Or
way.
that way. There's
Okay.
one there too. And there's one that way. I could really go any way I want to because this is my First Amendment right? That's
No,
what
your
we're
First
here
Amendment
for.
right is free speech.
Yep.
If you follow, stalk, and harass
Oh,
people,
okay.
that's
you can
illegal.
Go file a stalking order in DC and see how it works out.
Is your name
That's
Bree?
actually- Yeah, that is my name.
Bree. What's your last name, Bree?
Bree Princess.
I don't think it's
Everyone knows my name,
Princess.
John Dobbins. It's Brianne Chapman. They're not giving you any new information. You're a
Brianne Chapman.
You're a moron.
So, Brianne Chapman, I'm going to try to walk away from you for a
Okay, keep
third
going.
time.
Go
Please
give
stay
money
away
to the
from me.
cops. I'm just going to keep walking. This is
Please
freedom.
stay away from me, miss. I don't know who you are, and I feel threatened because you're stalking and harassing me. So, citizens, we always get challenged, and it's important to stay calm and to be respectful. Thanks, guys. I don't know who this is. I think she's associated with Antifa. That's what my chat is saying.
5150 recently. He's actually delusional and insane.
I actually teach at Yale. You can look it up. U.S. School of Survival.
Proud
So,
boys.
this lady's still over here. She's slandering me, which is illegal. And her name is Bree.
Civil case, moron. Send me a summons in court.
Where do you live? What's your address? I'd be happy to serve
Why don't
you.
you ask your friends? They all know it. But you don't know who I am. Your
Could you
name is
please
not
stay
John
away from me,
Dobbins.
miss?
Your
You
name
know,
is
you
not
don't want people to think that. I never
And then
told
you took
anyone
off
that in
and
my
you were
life.
hiding for 6
I
months
certainly
and you
never
said you
told
weren't
anyone
allowed
that in my
DC,
life.
And you said it was Anarchy Princess that called the cops. It wasn't me, but why'd you have guns?
What do y'all think about freedom in the United States? Or how could we come together as citizens? That never happened.
Oh, okay. The dogs.
That's
were
never
put the
happened.
guns down.
Okay. What can we do to be better citizens and to come together and heal some of these horrible divides which so many people try to push on
Remember
us?
when you hit Nadine in the face? Remember when you hit that woman in
That's
the face?
also
right here?
slander. You're slandering
Actually,
me.
it's not, honey. It's on camera. But
That's-
you're welcome to sue me. Remember when you hit that woman in the face?
I've never hit a woman in the
Remember when-
face in my life, and you're
lucky there's a
slandering
child
me.
here because I would say what you said. Remember
Well,
what you said
I'm
about
sorry
her?
that y'all are seeing this. If
About
you're
her
willing to be
uniform.
witnesses,
I'm
my
sorry you
website
did.
is
I'm sorry
us-sos.com.
that
It's the
you
U.S.
sexually
School of
accosted
Survival.
her and then you
And I might
physically
need to file a
assaulted her and
lawsuit
slapped her in the face
against this lady.
with
I don't
a
know if
bullhorn.
anybody would be able to email me to
Slapped
be a
woman in the face
witness.
with a bullhorn
I've never
accident.
done that in my life.
And that was after you talked about what's in between her legs.
So this is slander,
Yep.
and this is what happens when Antifa comes out to try to limit the free speech of Americans.
Yep.
And now you've seen what happens in
This
D.C.
is free speech, honey. This is my First Amendment right.
So please stop. Called me 4 times. So this is a woman who's identified herself as Anarchy Princess. She said George Soros paid her to come here and yell at me. And I'm the director of the U.S. School of Survival, and I teach at colleges across the country. And you see how uncomfortable she made these citizens. They had to leave. And you can see that she's still following me. You see her? I'll create distance. I'll come across the whole mall. But this just shows you what the radical left is willing to do to try to create anarchy in the United States. This woman isn't interacting with people in a safe or appropriate or legal way. And indeed, this woman has just come here to pick a fight. She slandered me on multiple occasions, and now she's following me around the mall. So it's very difficult to access freedom in the United States when Antifa representatives come and behave in such a way in public. And now you've all seen this. It's all on the video. And you've seen what's quite literally slander. If it was in writing, it would be libel. You can see her continuing to follow me. So it'll be very easy for me to be able to go to the police and to say that this woman has followed, stalked, and harassed me and has committed slander against me in multiple ways. And this is how the radical left decides to interact with people attempting to access their First Amendment rights, which you can read about. What's up? Oh, thanks a lot, man. I've never seen anybody act like that, you know? What do you guys think that we could do as a country to come together so like crap like this doesn't happen so we can have a better future?
I think there's nothing you can do about it. I mean,
is it okay if I ask you guys? I'm trying to talk to some sane people today, you know? Yeah. Is it cool? Yeah. Because you guys are cool, you know? I mean, you all have your fashion down, right? You've all got shoes, right? You got the grill, you got the glasses. What can we do to be better as Americans?
just gotta be better people, bro.
Yeah.
Just get
Yeah.
nicer, man. Love each other.
100%. Treat everybody like a person, right?
Love each other.
No doubt. Cool. So are you guys like a band or what?
No. We're the Fancy Pants Band.
The Fancy Pants Band. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can check them out at Fancy Pants. You know, they're the best band in DC. Hey, what do you guys think about freedom in America? Are we as free as we used to be?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
What is it that makes us less free than we used to be?
Everybody knows our man. They got restrictions on everything.
Restrictions on everything, right?
She's still talking.
Dude, I don't even know who this lady is or what she's talking about, but she's slandering the heck out of me, and she's following me everywhere I go. So,
Didn't like what you were doing.
no, you know, and I'm just trying to collect perspectives from Americans all over the country. I did it in Vegas last week. I just go around the country, I talk to Americans, and I say, what could we do better to make America stronger? I'm a Marine vet, you know, so it's important to me, you know. Guys, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for talking to me. What could we do? Just maybe leave me with one thing. What would you tell the citizens? How do we make our country better?
Just treat everyone with common decency, you know. I mean, if you're gonna, treat other people how you treat yourselves, like how you want to be treated.
No doubt.
Yeah, spread the love,
See
man.
somebody
You know?
struggling, help them
Cool.
out. Hey, don't forget to love yourself either.
That's right.
Exactly.
Love yourself.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
You too, bro?
Yeah, this is my first live stream on X-Ray America.
Nice.
You know X-Ray America?
Cool.
And we just launched the channel. So check it out. I teach at colleges around the country. I train state police, you know, and watch out for the crazies. You know what I mean? Yeah, see you guys. Have a good one. All right, guys. So we're being followed by an Antifa person who I guess her name is Chapman. She's followed me around the mall. She's been slandering me and yelling at me. And we're just trying to talk to random citizens about how to make the country more united. So it's tremendously ironic that this lady is being so disruptive today. And I certainly hope that she's able to work through any personal challenges that she might be dealing with, you know, in her own life. Because people don't come out and verbally attack others and follow them around and slander them if everything's going well in their lives, you know? And she even stated that George Soros paid her to come and do this today. She stated, George Soros pays me, she said. Oh my goodness. All right, so I've stepped away, I've stepped back, and we'll see if she's still following me or if she's decided to give me some space. She is following me. Look over there, you see her? Right here? Still being followed by Ann. So I'm gonna try to cross again. I'm gonna walk away in a new direction for the 4th time. And if this woman does follow me again, we are gonna go and file a restraining order. Okay, look, see how I'm changing direction? I'm going over here, and we'll see if she changes direction. So, it's tough to see, you know? You wanna see people being honorable and respectful and having good conversations. To just not be able to do that anymore, and that sure is tough, right? Indeed, why in the world would people behave like that to a citizen who's just talking to other citizens about how to make the country better? That's a good picture. Hey, how are you?
Hi, doing well. How are you?
Doing great, thanks. So it sounds like these citizens are over here protecting, standing up for animals, which is interesting. And again, I'll just go over here. I've walked away several times, still on the National Mall. And it sure is surprising to be followed and yelled at by a random person, right? for no reason. And this person has made 4 or 5 turns to follow me, and they've slandered me, and I continue to walk away. And other citizens have in fact become so uncomfortable that they stood up off the benches and they walked away too. So it's shocking to see that people continuously behave this way in an effort to do nothing but tear down, degrade, and destroy American civility. In fact, we're divided enough as a country, right? And the whole message from today's broadcast is how we can come together as Americans, talking to random citizens about how we can become a stronger and more resilient nation, right? Through the exchange of information and ideas and respecting each other's perspectives, right? This is America. We're a free country. People are gonna think different things, and that's cool. Indeed, that's what I fought for in the Marine Corps, right? So people can have their perspectives and they can believe what they wanna believe. It sure is surprising and shocking to see people go way out of their way to follow me, to meet me on the mall, to make multiple turns behind me, and to slander me on multiple occasions. And now that we know this person's name, and if you guys could confirm, did you say it was Brianne Chapman? Is that who that woman is? I don't know who that woman is. She made a number of false accusations against me. And she stated that George Soros pays her, which was a very interesting admission to hear, right? I was really surprised to hear someone say, yeah, George Soros to come here and say that stuff to you. It's shocking, right? Shocking. And of course we respect the office of the president, but it's tough to respect that a bag of cocaine was found in the White House and that the president's son is an admitted crack cocaine addict. Indeed, the president's son, according to his own book, right? According to Hunter Biden's own book, has crashed rental cars while driving high on cocaine. And videos have come out of Hunter Biden smoking cocaine while driving through Arlington, Virginia. So driving through Arlington, Virginia while smoking crack cocaine. Then cocaine is found in the White House and the Secret Service is unable to determine how it got there. Well, my goodness, what if it had been anthrax? You know, what if it had been anthrax? I bet they would have found out who brought the bag in if it was anthrax and not cocaine, right? And certainly the United States and the fine people at the Pentagon would be taking action against whoever brought that in to the White House. Okay. So we want to have faith. We want to show respect to the office of the president. And we want our elected and appointed officials to be held to a high standard, right? Just like each of us. Her name is Brianne. Okay. What Red Mama here says she has a case coming up against her soon. Do you know what her name is, Red Mama? Do you know what her full name is? Chapman. Okay, great. So it's Brianne Chapman. So maybe you all could be witnesses for me. We all saw this today. We have a nice video which has shown this woman come up to us randomly and then follow us through a series of 4 or 5 evasive turns. And the woman also stated multiple things which were slanderous, probably in an effort to induce some kind of alternate reaction, you know. But all this Marine could do was shake his head and walk away, right? Yeah, so Sylvia, why am I running away? So not running away, but walking away. If someone, oh, there's an albino squirrel, check it out. Look, squirrel, I'm just like my dog, right? Look how distracted I was. We were talking about freedom in the United States and I see a squirrel and it's all off. Squirrel! Yeah, so not running away, but intelligently walking away. If someone comes up again to and yell things at you and follow you and they're saying things that aren't true, it's best not to engage them, especially in Washington, D.C. Best just to keep walking away. And if they continue to follow you, you just take video of it and then you can report it from there. How are y'all doing? Hey, what's your favorite part about freedom? Are you from the United States?
No, we're from Italy.
Oh,
We're Italian.
I can only speak French and Spanish, right? Say welcome. Bienvenuti or something. How do you say?
Benvenuti.
Benvenuti, welcome.
Thank you.
Well, what have you seen so far in the United States?
Now we saw the capital
Yes, ma'am.
and it was gorgeous.
Good. Good. Well, welcome. I hope you have a very good visit.
Thank you.
Yep. Hope you have a good visit, sir. So a nice family here from Italy, and all I can really say in Italian is gelato. You know what I mean? Spaghetti. So, my Italian's not very good. I do speak French and Spanish and some Lithuanian and a little bit of Hebrew and a little bit of Arabic. And I studied Latin. In fact, I read Caesar's commentary on the Gallic Wars in Latin. And that's how I learned about my people, the Celts, you know, or the Gauls. Depends on which side you're on, same people. You know what I mean? So, interesting to see some people visiting from Italy. And again, the reason that I'm walking over here is because there's shade. I'm not here to do like a drama thing or to get into a fight or an argument. I'm here to collect perspectives from citizens so we can help make our country stronger, more united, and more informed. And it's so important to share information so we can all access education and truth, right? That's what's important. So what can you do, folks? You know, you just have to keep a positive attitude, and not everybody will behave in a sane or rational or coherent way when you interact with them. You know, in business, in your personal life, and indeed when you interact with government groups. It won't always be rational and sane. So all we can do is do our best. We want to stay positive. We want to be respectful, you know. And Sylvia, thank you so much for posting that. That's Judge Terry Doughty. All right, and right now, 3 attorneys general have sued the Biden administration and won an injunction which prohibits the Biden administration from going to social media companies in the United States of America or working with Stanford or working with University of Washington to limit or restrict the free speech of those Americans, or to switchboard or collaborate with them in any way, which is super cool that someone is standing up to say, hey, we're Americans and we demand our First Amendment rights, you know, indeed all of our rights, but one at a time. You can look up the Twitter files. Maybe we could put a link to Twitter files reporting as well, please, so you can see that that's also true and accurate and not something that I've made up. Mark says, watch my 6. That's why I've got you, Mark. I know you have my back, bro. And, you know, proud to know you. Proud to know all of you. So this is probably a great time for me to say thank you guys for coming on the channel and checking me out. You know that there'll always be a little bit of drama whenever I go live. It just took us a few minutes for that to happen. But it sounds like somebody named Anarchy Princess, whose real name is Brianne Chapman, saw that I was online, came to where I was, began to yell at and slander me, verbal statements which are not true or slander, right? And then as I walked away and tried to create distance, she continued to follow me. And I made a series of turns, and she continued to follow me. And I walked to the other side of the mall, and she continued to follow me. She did indeed state that she was paid by George Soros to come and say these things to me today, which is surprising. You wouldn't expect one to admit that, even if it was true. And I think she made a mistake in doing so, and she recognized that, because now she's kind of distanced herself. So whenever you're in a situation like this, folks, and maybe someone's trying to get you worked up, it's important to just stay chill and calm, right? And to stay in the truth, right? To have your faith, to hold to your faith, and to stay in the truth. And indeed, that's what we were able to do, right? Well, I don't know her. I don't know her name. We've never hung out. We've never had dinner, right? I have been in DC before, and she did show up and yell at me before, but I don't know the woman or what she believes or, you know, anything like that. I just know that she's someone who wasn't very respectful, right? And that's sad, because the whole purpose of this new channel is to try to unite Americans. And I don't care if you're liberal or if you're conservative, and that's why I don't want us to shadow ban on this channel. I don't want us to block the free speech of citizens on this channel. Indeed, I want to foster discussion on this channel. So if someone comes in with a different political view than you, and they say something that maybe is a little bit offensive, it's just like this situation that we had together today. And what I want to teach each of you, or communicate to each of you, right? You teach me so much, and I try to communicate back, but we need to come together as Americans. That's the only way we're going to be stronger. And that means we need to treat each other with respect. And not only do we need to treat each other with respect, but we need to use words that are true, right? We need to say true things to each other, and we need to be respectful to each other, or it's only going to make the divide in the United States deeper and greater. And that's the last thing we want, right? We want to tamp down tensions and not amp them up. We want to calm America down, unite America and educate America. That's what this is about, okay? It's about the truth. And we saw some truth right here, okay? We saw it right here. So this isn't about any movement or any group. Indeed, I'm not associated with any group, any social or political group, not associated with any group, except for the U.S. School of Survival. I'm the director for the U.S. School of Survival, so I'm associated with them. And I also teach at like Yale, Brown, Columbia, Dartmouth, and about 10 other colleges and universities, and some 6th grades as a volunteer. So I'm trying to come to you pretty straight here to try to help improve our country. And indeed, my ancestors have been here, like many of you. Like Sylvia, I know. Sylvia is a daughter of the American Revolution, which means her ancestors served in the American Revolution against Great Britain. And maybe we can talk about that in a little bit, right? Maybe we can talk about that. It wasn't just, you know, people getting all pissed off all of a sudden and there was a revolution. There was the Townshend Act, right? Then there was the Stamp Act. The Townshend Act taxed all supplies that were made in England that came to what is now the United States. That's the Townshend Act. Then there was the Stamp Act, which taxed every single public document here in the colonies. All right. There was the Tea Act, right, which put only a 1 penny tax on tea, but that was seen as being intolerable. And that's what led to the Boston Tea Party, right? The Boston Tea Party. So it was a series of moves by a very strong Congress and a very weak King George II, who was only in his 20s. Indeed, he didn't have very much power at all, right, prior to the American Revolution. And so colonists were really just like Englishmen asking for their rights as Englishmen. And after a series of taxation laws were passed, they felt like they weren't able to be as free as they were historically, okay? And you can look at the history there, right? You can look at, somebody said call the cops. I don't want to bother the police with this, but it could be something where we have to do a restraining order or something. But the whole purpose of the channel is to unite Americans and to be respectful and to communicate in truth, right? And I have faith in that process. So even if it's the most angry, evil person that they could send, I have faith that we can come together and just be respectful to each other and sort of do our own thing. You know, why can't we do that? It's America. We're Americans. We're smart, right? Can't we be respectful to each other? Can we treat each other with respect and just have discourse, open and honest discourse? Wouldn't that make our country a little bit stronger? And that's what we're after, right? I don't want to divide us. Indeed, I want to unite us. And that's why I'm saying to the moderators, don't block the free speech, please. I mean, if someone's like saying something of a sexual nature or a grossly antagonistic or inappropriate nature without providing, you know, support for what they're saying, if someone's saying a series of lies, unsubstantiated statements, that's something that we're gonna have to talk to that person about, right, through the channel. But I don't want to just blanket block people. I want to have foster discussion. And indeed, if Americans had a higher level of discussion, you know, I think it might unite us a little bit more than divide us. If you were with us maybe 20 minutes ago, we asked one citizen, hey, what can we do to make the United States stronger? And he said, stop playing to win. Communicate and stop playing to win, right? Another citizen said vote and vote informed, right? So I'm just saying. All right, let me hop on in here and see what y'all are saying. Yeah, please hit the like, subscribe, please share this. This is the first live stream on a brand new channel. And I'm right here in DC, you know, I'm right on the National Mall. And let me hit my glasses. It is very warm and humid, especially compared to Colorado where I was, you know, where it's very dry. But yeah, the United States Capitol is right here. And it's a beautiful building, right? A symbol of our freedom, a symbol of American exceptionalism, right? And I was telling you earlier in the broadcast that I have the flag that flew right there over the Capitol on the day of my birth, right? I was able to get that flag. So it was a gift, right? So a tremendous gift. Behind me, you see the Washington Monument, right? An obelisk, right? Another symbol of American freedom, excellence, and exceptionalism. A bright light to the world. And that's what America is. America is the bright light of freedom from the White House that goes down into the darkness of the sea of the world, right? And we need to continue to be that. And we've talked about some of the shadow banning, right? And we talked about Judge Terry Doughty's injunction against the Biden administration, preventing them from going to tech companies to limit the free speech of certain people. And it prevented the Biden administration from going to academics at Stanford University and at the University of Washington who monitor the internet and then give advice on who should be shadow banned, who might not be shadow banned. And when I say shadow banned, I mean the deliberate reduction in the rate at which information is shared online. That's what shadow banning is. Okay? So it's been a big win for those attorneys general. 3 state attorneys general brought the lawsuit, and they won the injunction just a few days ago. And I encourage each of you to please go and read that article, and then you can talk to your friends about it, right? It's a good talking point. Hey, this is something that a federal judge said is true. It's not like a crazy, wacky thing, you know, a federal judge said it's true. Federal judge made an injunction. Some other people mentioned corruption within certain political families. And if you're looking for really good information about that corruption, you should access houseoversight.gov, the House Oversight Committee. The House, right here, Oversight Committee, led by Republican Congressman Comer. So Congressman Comer has led a series of investigations and has laid down a very detailed report into the corruption of some political families in the United States. And maybe that's all I'll say right now, and I'll encourage you to go and look it up, right? Please go and look it up. Great view, you should host a TV show. Thank you so much, Liberal Moms for America. I'm hosting a TV show right now, and you're watching it at home, right? It might even be on your TV. So it's live, right? There's not an editor behind me telling me that I have to push a certain political agenda, right? This is just us talking to Americans. Just getting the true from normal citizens and visitors to the United States of America. All right, so let's go down here a little bit. I know you said you like the view, but I'm probably bothering this gentleman who's trying to read and, get some sun over here. And I want to be aware of who